Are we live? All right, here we go. Hey everybody, Real Estate Ninja here. I got a story for you out of Yahoo Finance, and this is really important. This has to do with Grant Cardone. And I don't know if you guys know about Grant Cardone. He's that 10X guy that does a lot of REITs, and he takes your money and he gives you back a very small percentage of it, right? But supposedly, you own part of the property. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And there was a video that came out from another YouTuber. I'm blanking on the channel's name right now, but it was very telling about what he does, and type of business he does. And Grant is notoriously known for suing anybody that talks about him, which always threw me off, because if you're very honest in your dealings and people talk about him, people talk about him at me all the time. I hear about it all the time, quite frankly. And it is hard when you know you're doing something good and you're trying to do the best you can for civilization, humanity, yourself, your family, all that stuff. And then, somebody come out there, but there's just liars out there. But by and large, you don't see me running out there and suing everybody and whining and complaining, right? And it's been made really obvious on his channel, where he comes out just screaming and yelling about all the haters. Well, check this out. Grant Cardone manages real estate investment trusts, essentially, right? Takes people's money, pulls it together, buys property, but it's not buying it cash with the investor's property. That's what people need to realize. The leverage, let's talk about 10X. He takes your money and then he uses that as down payment or collateral for properties. Okay. Is there anything wrong with that? No, nothing at all. But here is what's wrong. And it's not that anything that Grant did per se. Everybody fell for this trap. Now, if he would have been watching my channel, he would have probably laughed at me a few years ago when I started a warning about this crisis in commercial real estate. He would have absolutely laughed. And because I started warning about commercial real estate implosions and these mortgage-backed securities, these commercial mortgage-backed securities, he would have mocked me just like a bunch of professionals in the space. And pride comes before a fall, right? Now, with commercial real estate, you have to refinance it, renegotiate it every so many years. I want to say 5 years is really the sort of the pillar when these things come due. And you have to renegotiate it. And everybody in the commercial space did not see rising rates. They were not legitimate investors really back in the early 2000s during the last cycle. Now, I don't remember how long Grant's been doing this, but check this out. This is a story, and this is probably because he's coming under fire because profits are falling in not only his funds, but other funds, because they're having to renegotiate and with the banks, these massive properties that have, 100, 500, maybe even 1,000, apartments, complexes. And these are commercial. So it affects residential, right? Check this out. It says here, this is the story title. Jerome Powell has caused so much damage. Grant Cardone just slammed the Fed leader for inflicting unnecessary pain on U.S. real estate, but he remains bullish on one asset class. Of course. Now, this is going to end very badly for him in about 12 months. You guys will see this. And hey, you never know. Maybe he'll sue me for it. Just saying this. Investing guru Grant Cardone has taken a huge swipe at Jerome Powell, chair of the Federal Reserve, holding him responsible for many challenges plaguing the U.S. commercial real estate market. Cardone goes by the nickname Uncle G, has slammed the Fed's aggressive series of interest rate hikes since March of 2022 for causing unnecessary pain in the sector. Let me stop there real quick. If the Fed doesn't raise rates, we're going to have out of control inflation leading to hyperinflation. Grant's not going to tell you that because he probably doesn't even really understand the concept and couldn't explain it live. A lot of people, they take a lot of time on YouTube, and I've seen them literally do this. Read. And this is what's happening next due to this and that. Okay. And they do this thing called editing. On the fly, I don't think economics is probably a strong suit. And it isn't a lot of people's. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of people expected these rates to be ultra low, but that would cause hyperinflation. Okay, we're already getting close to this mode now because it went unchecked for too long. We stayed at low rates for too long. If you don't give people a reason to keep their money in the bank, i.e. a good interest rate that sort of builds for the future, they take that money and spend it into the economy. Well, that's actually what the Federal Reserve wanted because the economy, the system is dying, and it's a slow death. And so rates had to go up, all right? So now it says here, worried about, oh gosh, okay. He says here, this is his quote: Jerome Powell has caused so much damage to the real estate market, to residential housing, to the hotel market, to multifamily, and to office. Cardone told MoneyWise in an interview, challenging economic conditions are turning the former safe haven of real estate investing into a riskier bet. Did he not realize what happened in the Great Recession? I mean, my home fell 42, 43% in California. Now, that was an extreme case, but you're going to see even percentages drop even more than that this time. So it also happened in the 80s, the early 80s. I don't think these guys realize that these real estate moves in cycles and you'll be able to move in and out of them. He says here it's an overreaction by the Fed. Historically, commercial real estate has been a very stable asset for investors, according to Cardone. That's absolutely not true. I don't know what to tell you. Whether it be the recession of 08, commercial real estate took a hit. 1980 took a hit. As a matter of fact, 87 to 92, we saw a hit in commercial real estate. That is absolutely not true. This is like, you know, well, who's that money guru that is always trying to talk into paying things off, which I agree with that part. Jim, I don't even remember his name. Point being is this. He said that only a few cities in the country saw the Great Recession caused homes to drop in price. It's absolutely not true. I don't know where they get their statistics from. Says Cardone believes that there's only been a few instances over hundreds of years where that stability has wavered. The great inflation of the 1970s and the crash of the dot-com bubble in 2000, the 2008 global financial crisis, and this moment right now. They all have one thing in common, the credit market, he says. He's absolutely right with that. Real estate is very much tied to whether or not you can acquire debt, and the banking system is clearly very fragile now. Now, with that being said, we're starting to see foreclosures tick up. Although they are super low, we're still at like literally 40% of the average foreclosures that should be happening around the country. That's why I did the Foreclosure Pro class. I'll put a link below. It's the last day for the 80% off, which cost $199. Trying to get you guys ready now because that's when you prepare. You don't wait and start ranting against the government and Jerome Powell like, you screwed this up. It's like, everyone, you could have seen this coming a million miles away. Now, what's happening is they are having a hard time. I'm sure Grant is one of them, having a hard time renegotiating with the banks right now. They're like, dude, the rents do not cover the expenses now because of how much more they have to pay for debt servicing. Okay, it's just, this is happening like crazy. That's why we want to get ready to take advantage of this. And right now, CRE, or commercial real estate, is hemorrhaging, and they are being given back to banks literally 50 cents on the dollar right now. And those are going to make their way to foreclosure markets, to foreclosure auctions. That's why you want to be ready. Now, do you have the money for those big properties? More than likely not. But that's going to cause a cascade in other markets like the single family residential area. Says here, since March of 2022, the Fed has raised interest rates 10 consecutive times, in total amounting to 5 percentage points in an effort to cool the highest U.S. inflation in 4 decades. That should show you how big this is going to be too. So we haven't had this happen through the dot-com bust, through the 2008 crisis, or the 92 recession and the 1987 market panic, okay? Uncle G says, and this is from Grant Cardone, unprecedented raises in interest rates is a prime example of overreaction by the Fed to somehow control this thing called inflation. He doesn't even understand what the thing called inflation is. Hey, Grant, here's the thing. He also said, what you say, Uncle G, said that you are going to experience pain. I don't know why you're not quoting that, because you might not have heard that statement, but he actually announced that. You are about to experience pain. It's going to feel uncomfortable. See, Jerome Powell actually told you everything. Straight up. They always do. Ben Bernanke told you ahead of time. Alan Greenspan told it ahead of time for the dot-com crash, the rational exuberance speech. All the Feds always tell you the truth right before it happens. It takes about 6 months. They always announce it 6 months before everything goes down. It's almost weird. It's like this weird numerical Illuminati crap. He believes the government's economic policies have caused further damage to market disparity, trying to shake off pandemic-driven trends. For instance, remote work is leaving office buildings empty. The acceleration of online shopping has retailers scrambling to find an edge. The hotels have yet to return to their pre-COVID occupancy rates. So it's really nice to be able to hear these guys that say 10x, and they spend literally tens of millions of dollars per year to make sure they're in front of you on every single channel. You know, and that is the truth. That's another thing I want to tell you. I don't think you realize Grant Cardone, Alex Ramogi, all these guys out there, they spend literally like $8 to $10 million a year to make sure that their videos get in front of you. That's why they get so important, so big. Some of the guys that have met me have said, they're like, how did you grow this fast organically? I'm like, just being real, just being able to tell this stuff ahead of time, not running onto Yahoo Finance and whining about what the effects of what they did. I told you in the future, or like in real time, oh, they're doing this. This is going to be a result of it. And they just don't get that. But they're spending literally $10 million a year to make sure that they are in front of you like crazy. It's propaganda. But hey, you know, whatever works. I don't got $10 million to advertise, but I'm totally happy just warning people this way. And check this out. Now, you got to remember, eternal salesman, right? This is Grant started by teaching people how to sell cards. He's a great salesman. So as the commercial real estate sector is imploding, this is the end of the story. Let me know what you think about this. Safe bet in commercial real estate? Question mark. Although Grant Cardone says the commercial real estate market is fragile right now, he believes a real estate correction is now fully in place, which presents a great opportunity for buyers. What? This is the moment, he says. There are the opportunities where people can actually make real big money in real estate. Cardone himself made his millions by investing in multifamily real estate. Cardone Capital real estate portfolio consists of 11,903 apartments units across 36 multifamily properties valued at around $4 billion. As a long-term investor with bullish attitude in this space, Cardone has been able to navigate temporary disruptions in the commercial real estate market. I invest for generations, he says. I'm not going to read any more of this. You're going to see something really massive with this sector, and I guarantee you're going to see these stories turn around 1 year from now. I'm telling you this, it's not going to last. You guys want to get ready for the foreclosure season? I'll put a link down. Last day for 80% off, guys. I thank you so much for watching. This is not going to end well for Mr. Cardone. Eternal salesman is one thing, but waking up and seeing the truth is a totally different thing. Guys, the Real Estate Ninja is out.